how police are responding to a message that is threatening the safety of students and staff in Jessamine County.
And here we go again, another big-time winter storm taking aim at the Bluegrass State. Flooding and snow, all a possibility over the next 48 hours.
A fire shuts down the government center in downtown Lexington. The latest on when it's expected to reopen.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Jennifer Palumbo. We are in for a roller coaster ride in the weather for this first week of March. Right now we are in the mid-30s, but the changes include highs in the 50s to heavy snow and sleet. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey is tracking it all on First Alert Defender. Chris, a wild week ahead.
Yeah, it really is. We've got this big storm system that is on the way to the area now, so the calm stuff that we have for the next, roughly 12 to 24 hours is going to be replaced by a very active period. First things first, our flood watch that goes into effect later Tuesday and will carry us through Wednesday for much of the Bluegrass State, all the counties that are shaded into the green. Now it's also a winter storm watch that is in effect as well, Wednesday into Thursday for just about all of central and eastern Kentucky, and that is with the second part of this storm. First part's heavy rain, second part of that likely to be the potential for significant sleet and snow accumulations. Live First Alert Defender, nothing on it now, though over the next 24 hours we may see some thunder showers, thunderstorms try to show up on Defender at some point. Told you it was going to be a wild ride. Arctic air surging in from Canada toward the northern plains. A big push of moisture from not only the Pacific, but eventually the Gulf of Mexico beginning to open up. That's a powerhouse of a storm system. That storm system makes its way toward parts of the Great Lakes, but it is what comes in behind that as that front stalls out across the area. We're going to be talking about the potential for heavy rains ahead of this, then a lot of sleet and snow coming in on the backside. Jennifer, to say the next 3 to 4 days will be wild would be an understatement. Flooding, snow, sleet, and the possibility of record low temperatures, all sandwiched in between now and Friday. We'll touch on it in greater detail when I come back in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Chris. Extra security greeted students headed to class this morning at their Central Kentucky school. It was because of a threatening email sent to East Jessamine High School last night. WKYT's Mark Barber shows us what's being done to keep students safe in our top story at 4.
The Jessamine County Superintendent says she thinks the threat is a prank, but they are still taking precautions. Police are stepping up their school security because they say nothing matters more than the safety of students. Superintendent Kathy Fields isn't releasing the details of the threatening message, but she is saying she received a generic email threatening the safety of students and staff at East Jessamine High School around 10:30 last night. Police tell us that they responded by increasing the security in each school.
Officers are inside patrolling the hallways in the front office areas as they come in, also outside in the parking lots.
A mother who doesn't want to talk on camera tells us she sent her son to school because she thinks the threat is full of empty words.
I think if it was that serious, they would have called school off, so I don't see the need for him to miss a day of school over it.
Investigators say they are trying to trace the IP address from the email to find the person who wrote the threat. The superintendent says if and when they track the person down, they will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Parents who didn't send their children to class today because of safety concerns won't be penalized for keeping them at home. The superintendent says they only need to submit a note for the day to get that absence excused. In Jessamine County, Mark Barber, WKYT.
An automated phone call went out this morning notifying parents of the threat. The superintendent tells us this is the first threat made against the school in the 2 years she's been in charge of the district. In our other top stories at 4, Lexington's Government Center remains closed this afternoon because of an electrical fire. It happened last night in the parking garage, but crews had to cut power to the entire building to make repairs today. The city's director of facilities says the building is about 90 years old and its aging electrical infrastructure has trouble dealing with the cold. City officials hope to have people back in the building at work tomorrow. The search continues this afternoon for the robbers behind a violent holdup Friday at the Tobacco Zone on North Broadway. Police say the clerk ended up in a struggle over the robber's gun and multiple shots were fired. Police have identified one of the men as 30-year-old Darnell Thomas Jr. There is a warrant out for his arrest. Our reporters are working on a number of other stories for WKYT starting at 4:30. Amber Philpott is at the live desk with a look at some of the news in progress. Good afternoon, Amber.
Hello, Jennifer. A Boyle County man is fighting for his life following a house fire. It happened last night on Perkins Avenue in Danville. The man who lives there, Gerald Mullins, suffered severe burns and is in the hospital. We're talking to members of his family who say they're in need of help after that fire. That's coming up on WKYT News at 4:30. Today marks 3 years since deadly tornadoes ripped across the state. An EF3 tornado hit West Liberty in Morgan County on March 2nd, 2012. 6 people died there. The tornado also destroyed West Liberty Elementary. We're taking a look back on the destruction that the tornado left behind in West Liberty coming up on WKYT News at 5. And the Lexington Fire Department wants to make sure it is ready for any winter weather emergencies. Firefighters spent the day at Jacobson Park practicing rescues from ice. We'll show you what it takes to get someone out of a frozen lake. That's on WKYT News at 5. That is a look at just some of the news in progress. Jennifer, back to you.
Thanks, Amber. Now to stories making headlines across the nation at 4. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is in Washington today. Tomorrow, he's expected to urge Congress to delay an upcoming deadline in the nuclear talks with Iran. He's also expected to ask for tougher sanctions against Iran and appeal for support to stop a nuclear deal he opposes. The White House did not want Netanyahu to address lawmakers while nuclear talks are underway, but Republican House Speaker John Boehner invited Netanyahu anyway. Multiple agencies are now investigating a deadly shooting involving a police officer. The confrontation between the man and the Los Angeles Police Department was caught on camera and viewed by 1 million people on the internet. Danielle Nottingham has the latest.
Witnesses captured this dramatic confrontation on Sunday between Los Angeles police and a man in downtown LA's Skid Row. Police say the officers were initially called to the scene to detain the man who was a robbery suspect.
They got out the car and ran over there, and then they all had 3 tasers out.
The man can be seen fighting several officers before being wrestled to the ground. The LAPD says 2 officers and a sergeant shot the man after the suspect grabbed an officer's gun. The LAPD, an independent inspector general, and the LA County District Attorney are investigating what happened here. Authorities are reviewing cell phone video as well as surveillance footage taken from this area. And at least one of the officers was wearing a body camera. Activists say the shooting is just the latest example of police brutality.
We want an explanation on why 5 police officers could not contain a mentally ill, homeless man without killing him. In our opinion, that man was murdered by the police. No justice, no peace.
Some community members are demanding justice as authorities examine whether the officers were justified in using deadly force. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Los Angeles.
The LAPD has not released the man's name. The investigation findings will be submitted to the Police Commission, a civilian panel that oversees the police department. Activists are calling on the Police Commission to hold a special hearing on use of officers' force in Skid Row. A nurse who contracted Ebola while caring for the first person in the U.S. diagnosed with it has filed a lawsuit. Nina Pham is suing the company that owns Texas Health Presbyterian Hospital, Dallas. Pham's lawsuit claims the hospital was not prepared to treat Ebola. She also says she became an unwitting pawn in the public relations campaign to restore the hospital's image. The patient died while Pham and another nurse who contracted Ebola survived. The longest-serving woman in Congress says she will not seek a 6th term. Senator Barbara Mikulski made the announcement today in Baltimore. She's known as a tough, no-nonsense lawmaker who rose to the leadership of the Appropriations Committee. She has 2 years left in her current term.
Follow WKYT online at WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
March coming in like a lion on Wall Street with the Dow and S&P 500 at record highs today. The Dow jumped 156 points to close at 18,288. The S&P added 13 to 2017, and the Nasdaq picked up 45. If you have an older style fax machine you plan to sell or throw out, you could be putting your personal information at risk. Some thermal fax machines make a carbon copy of every document you send or receive. As Susan Copen shows us, the information is very easy to find.
Fax machines are an easy and fast way to send some of your most important documents. But faxing isn't always safe.
There's a whole lot of personal information that's on all of these devices.
Not hard to uncover.
Ned Eldridge is the CEO of eLoop, one of the largest certified recyclers of e-waste in Pennsylvania. Some of the items coming through here are thermal fax machines, which are loaded with personal data. All you need to do is open them up, pull out this ribbon, and you can read anything that went through the machine.
Credit card number, telephone number, address.
Yeah.
At this eLoop facility, personal information gets destroyed. But when thermal fax machines get tossed in the trash or sold online, that personal information can easily end up in the wrong hands. We purchased several fax machines from Craigslist. All of them had personal information. This fax machine belonged to Linda and Bob Collins.
It has these tax documents. It has financial statements. You see this, and what are you thinking?
It's crazy that you can get all that information that easily.
The Collins are glad that machine fell into our hands and not the hands of an identity thief.
Would you guys like this back?
I want it back now.
Susan Copen, CBS News, Pittsburgh.
If you have a thermal fax machine and plan to sell it, you should take out the ribbon and shred it. Louisville Slugger may be up for sale. Bloomberg Business reports Louisville Slugger's parent company is exploring a sale. The family-owned business would likely be valued at $100 million. The bat maker has been in business since 1894. Gas prices continue to climb. AAA says prices rose another 13 cents a gallon last week, bringing the national average to $2.43 for a gallon of regular. Analysts say prices could go up toward the spring, but there's plenty of domestic supply, so they shouldn't skyrocket. Remember, you can always find the lowest gas prices in your area on WKYT.com. Samsung is taking on Apple's iPhone 6. The South Korean phone maker unveiled the Galaxy S6 and S6 Edge. They're lighter and thinner than the S5. The screen remains 5.1 inches but has a higher resolution. The phones will be available in the U.S. next month. Call it freezing for a reason. People are getting ready for Polar Plunge 2015.
And luckily, some of the ice is thawed there. Our Deanne Stevens is not one of them, but she is helping the cause today. She's out and about at Connolly Bottom Resort in good old Wayne County and Lake Cumberland with more. Hey, Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon from Connolly Bottom Resort here in Monticello, Kentucky, where I spend the majority of my summer. Let me tell you, it looks a little bit different here in the winter. The good news, the sun has been shining today. It's a beautiful day, and they are preparing for a big event here at Connolly Bottom. Julie Goodpaster is with us, Special Olympics Kentucky, and this is the Polar Plunge. And you say you saved the best for last, the Lake Cumberland Polar Plunge.
Absolutely. We've already had 5 plunges this year, actually 4. We had to cancel one of them because of the snowstorm, so we're looking for sunny days.
You canceled, you guys had to cancel the one in Lexington. So this is an opportunity for all those folks who were going to plunge and be a part of that to come here to Lake Cumberland.
Absolutely. We encourage them to get this experience. We set up a pool in Lexington. We want them to see a true polar plunge and come in the lake.
I mean, why would you plunge in a pool when you can plunge in a lake, right?
That's exactly what I've done it twice, and I completely agree. This is definitely one of the best.
Talk about the Polar Plunge, how much fun it is, and what a great event it is to raise awareness not only for Special Olympics, but it also raises great funds.
Yes, absolutely. We are known for off-the-wall fundraisers, and that's something that we want as Special Olympics to always have a name for. And it not only gives an opportunity for people to have engagement, employee engagement opportunities, but gives people the opportunity to have fun and raise money for this great cause. So we love it.
How do folks sign up?
They can go to KentuckyPlunge.com, sign up online at the Lake Cumberland tab, or they can come here on Saturday at 9 o'clock and sign up.
9 o'clock Saturday morning, Connolly Bottom Resort. You could be a part of the Lake Cumberland Polar Plunge. No, I'm not doing it, but I'm telling you how to do it. I'll be here to cheer you on. How about that? I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Back to you guys.
I think Deanne should do it. Take one for the team.
There you go. Why not? I mean, you made the trip down there. You might as well make it worth it,
that's
huh?
Right. It's time for Better Living, health education, and consumer news that impacts your life. A new study finds U.S. hospitals face a growing threat from shooters. Researchers found an increase in the number of active shooting incidents in American hospitals. In fact, one happens more than once a month. The report finds hospitals need to be proactive by instituting new security measures and even having armed police in the building. Some flooring from the chain Lumber Liquidators may fail to meet health and safety standards. The U.S. company has much of its laminate flooring made in China. A CBS News investigation found the Chinese-made flooring failed to meet California formaldehyde emission standards. Formaldehyde is known to cause cancer. Lumber Liquidators says its Chinese-made laminate flooring is safe. There are 4 Lumber Liquidators in Kentucky, including one in Lexington. Alzheimer's isn't typically diagnosed until later in life, but new research shows the groundwork begins when patients are very young. The study found the abnormal protein known as amyloid starts accumulating in the brains of people as young as 20 years old. The number is much younger than scientists previously thought. A new treatment may hold promise for patients with chronic foot pain. Radiologists in Nebraska used ultrasound technology on patients with plantar fasciitis. They found the technique helped break up and remove diseased tissue, allowing healthy tissue to grow.